What's up, fragrance connoisseurs? We're here with a video on the most complimented fragrances that I've had so far in 2024. So this is going to be a video that's going to be from basically January to now. What fragrances did I get the most compliments on? Now, I've tried to take out some of the SKUs because there's some fragrances that I wear as signature fragrances, so they're going to get more of an opportunity to get more compliments. So I try to work out that in the fragrances that I've worn, in the time spans that I've worn them, how many compliments did I get in that basic time to kind of come up with an average. And some of them are really close, but I think that I have a really good list, and I'm looking forward to everybody seeing up until now what kind of fragrances did I wear a lot and what kind of fragrances did I get the most compliments with. So if you have not subscribed, if you're a first-time viewer, I appreciate you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you're a returning viewer, of course, I definitely appreciate all the support and the love that you've given the channel. So stay tuned for station identification as we go into the most complimented fragrances that I have in my collection that I have worn this year up till now. Stay tuned. Alright, fragrance connoisseurs, we're going to start with some honorable mentions because, again, I don't want to give you the same fragrances all the time. So, as honorable mention, get a lot of compliments with Diwan by Arabian Oud. Now this one, mad compliments. A lot of people like it. Wherever I've worn it, I've gotten compliments with it. This is one that has beaten out other fragrances. When I go to places where we both, or Nate and I wear fragrances, or when I go to places where people are expecting to wear fragrances, this has been a staple. It's won compliments. I basically talk about Diwan a lot, so I'm not just going to bring it up in every show that I have. But know that it's in my top 10. Know that I love it. Know that it gives me a lot of compliments. It's kind of a modern fougere, and it's something, if you want to know more about it, I've gotten a lot of videos where I've talked about it. Another one that's in one of my top 10, and this one is Angel Share by Kilian. Again, another one that gets a lot of compliments. I haven't worn this as much this year because I've been doing so many Angel Share clone videos that I've been testing and wearing clones of Angel Share more than I have worn Angel Share this year. But I can tell you, one of my first niche fragrances that I bought, get a lot of compliments with it. It's a great fragrance, and it is a staple in my collection as well. Another one that I'll say is a fragrance that I've had for a while. This is Xerjoff's Comandanté, and this one is basically a honey tobacco fragrance, but it's in the style of Jean Paul Gaultier, Lamar. To me, it is a more wearable, less loud, more mature, niche version of the scent DNA. This one really gets a lot of compliments. People really like it. I was disappointed at first. When I first bought it, I blind bought this based off of recommendations on YouTube or something like that. And I looked at the notes. It is join the club, so the notes aren't really set in stone. No notes really are. Even the notes that they publish are not all that comprise the fragrance. There's nuances and things that they just do not give all the time. But when I thought of tobacco honey, I was thinking of kind of like Naxos, or I was thinking of maybe like the Dawn. I was thinking of more of a tobacco dominant fragrance. This really isn't. And when I first got it, it wasn't something that I was gravitating to. However, got to love it, got to wear it, and learned very quickly that this scent profile DNA gets you a lot of compliments, especially from women. So this one was one that I didn't necessarily like as much at first, but the compliment factor, the DNA, the scent profile just kind of grew on me, and I ended up loving it. So those are the ones that I would give as basic, I would say, honorable mentions. We'll go into it. Now, I am gonna go from the most complimented, and I would say I'd say the least complimented, but they're all on my most complimented list. So I would go to the one that has gotten the least amount of compliments to the one that's gotten the most amount of compliments. Now, some of these are really, really close, but I will go through it. All of these are winners in my book. All of these are ones that I would keep in my collection. Now, if I only went down to 10 like we do in some of these videos, yeah, some of these might not make it because some of the ones that get compliments are not necessarily the ones that I gravitate to or is that I like to smell and that are my favorites. So you will see this list may not be your list. We have to make that disclaimer up front, but here is the list. And we will start with Tony Iommi, and this is Monkey Special. And this one, I have a sample of the newest one, Deified, but this one was one that has garnered me a lot of compliments, especially in the winter time. And what we get with this one, to me, it's a very unique scent profile. However, I still believe that it's a mass appealing scent profile. But you start out with passion fruit and rum, so it's boozy, it's fruity, it has some leather in it, and it makes a really distinctive scent DNA and smell that I really like. It lasts 12 hours on skin. It's a nuclear bomb. It's gonna stay on clothes for days and days. But this one is one that's really different, but still sexy in a way. And it comes off on the top, rum, passion fruit, bergamot, and then geranium also kind of, which to me in this lends it to the rose. There's some more rose that comes in later, but that geranium gives it a green, fresh rose from the top. In the heart notes, there's Singapore patchouli, cinnamon, leather, and Bulgarian rose. And you do get the prominent leather that comes in. And then in the base, it gets really sweet. And that sweetness is what kind of puts it all together. You feel it blend when the passion fruit comes in, but there's some sweetness that are in the base notes that really blend this well together. And that is caramel, vanilla, tonka bean, and then you have some sandalwood, labdanum, ambergris, and musk. It's a really sexy fragrance. Every time I've worn it, I've gotten compliments. And the main thing that I get is, what is that? And I've never smelled anything like that before. It is unique in that kind of sense, but it is kind of a mass appealing type style. So I really like that one. The next one, and again, I have to say that this is really all the compliments, and sometimes I didn't wear these as much, but the next one, I picked up the wrong one actually. The next one that we're going to talk about is Soul Batik by Moresque, and this is their signature line, their secret collection. And this is an amber fragrance, but this is more than just a deep dark amber. This is a aromatic amber that really pops off with cardamom and geranium. And this is one that I think you can wear year round. I wouldn't wear it necessarily in the high heat, but you could get away with this in spring and even summer nights. I've gotten a lot of compliments with this one. I've worn this a lot while traveling, and I get compliments in the airport. And especially with some of the people that are at the gates and things like that, when we're standing in line to go into the airplane, I've gotten a lot of compliments with this. And it's distinctive. It's not in the kind of dense, buttery line of what you think of a Grand Soir. And it's not in kind of like a sweet, like Doza by Narcotica or something like that. It's not a sweet amber. It does have a little bit of sweetness in it, but to me, this is more of a fresher, aromatic amber, and it just gets noticed. This one starts off with, like I said, it starts off with cardamom, bergamot, and then in the heart notes, it's incense, geranium, and pink pepper. In the base, it's vanilla, amber, and patchouli. This is a really nice fragrance that gets a lot of compliments. I think it's basically a fragrance that people don't talk enough about it. The people who have it really know, and it is a great fragrance. All right, next we will talk about Initio, and this is Musk Therapy. Now, Musk Therapy, I need to wear it more. I can say it gets a lot of compliments, and I also say that when it gets compliments, it gets a lot of attention. So if I was gonna put on the kind of the most attention I've gotten with a fragrance, Musk Therapy would be the number one. Not necessarily the most compliments that I've gotten, but the most attention where people think this is a really sexy fragrance. Women have told me that this is a really sexy fragrance. In fact, one woman basically asked, "Where is your wife? Because you should not be wearing this without her." This fragrance is simple, it's understated, basically in what it comprises as far as notes, but it is really a nice, soapy clean, musky, floral fragrance that really gets the attention of women. I've said it before, if you look at any women's channel, I've looked at a couple of them, when they talk about this fragrance, it's a fragrance that they wear. And if a woman loves to wear a fragrance, it is gonna be something that you should get your hands on as far as compliments. Now, this opens up with bergamot and blackcurrant, mandarin orange, magnolia, heroin, white sandalwood, white musk, and rose musk. Sexy, sexy, sexy fragrance. It just is. That's all I can say about it. Now we are getting to, I believe, the 5th fragrance, and this is Vanille Havane by Les Indemodables. This is a vanilla kind of extract fragrance. It's a vanilla dominant fragrance, but there's a lot of things that are focusing on the vanilla bean, or kind of like a vanilla extract, that you're gonna get. You're gonna get some booziness, you're gonna get kind of tobacco, you're gonna get cacao, some kind of chocolatey vibes, and this one just does it right. Now, I've only worn this in the wintertime. I have not worn this in, say, summer, spring, high heat, but whenever I've worn this, especially around January for parties or get-togethers, I get a lot of compliments for this one. It is warm, it's cozy, it's a semi-gourmand. It is a really nice fragrance that does tobacco right. I would say in vanilla fragrances, this is my number 1 vanilla fragrance, and this would have a place in tobacco fragrances as well. So when you look at this one, this is really what I would say a real vanilla bean fragrance that basically focuses on vanilla should be like. It's not the sweet, syrupy, vanilla type fragrances. This one is just a well put together, well blended fragrance, and Les Indemodables just does a great job with it. You have what I said, tobacco. It's also rum. It's really kind of boozy, which another thing is from that vanilla extract. It does have a boozy characteristic. It also cacao, the vanilla, of course, dried fruits, amber, leather, and floral notes. This one is worth the price of admission. You only get a 50 ml, and I usually don't like to buy 50 mils unless it's the only one that they sell. And I really like the fragrance. And this one, I really like the fragrance, and I will be getting another one. So the next one we will talk about, this is another Initio, and this one is Oud for Greatness. This is a sexy fragrance. It's called Oud for Greatness. Really doesn't focus on oud the way you may think of oud. It's not an overly medicinal oud. It's not kind of like that barnyard type oud. This oud is very woody, and it's blended well in the background. I believe there's other things that shine through it more, but it does have a oud base. But sexy, sexy fragrance. It doesn't have a lot of notes, but the way they blend it together, it works. It comes in with saffron, nutmeg, lavender. And that's off the top. Then there's oud in the heart, and patchouli and musk in the base. Oud for Greatness is another one. Initio just does sexy fragrances right. This is another fragrance that I went to a family function. It was a birthday party for a cousin, and when I wore this, everybody talked about what I was wearing, what it was, how could they get their hands on it. Another one where a cousin was saying, you should only wear this around your wife. There's no reason why you should ever wear this alone. Oud for Greatness. It doesn't smell like the oud that you're thinking about, but it is an oud that you need to have in your collection. All right, this is probably, the next one is my favorite, basically, of all time. Now, it does not get me the most compliments. It does get compliments, and this one is Al Qurashi Blend by Abdul Samad Al Qurashi. It's been really hard to get for a while, but now you can get it off of Al Qurashi's website. Not for a bad price either. It's, even with shipping and everything, it's under $200. Great, great price. Again, if you like the scent DNA of Blue Sapphire, this has a similar scent DNA. This one was out years before Blue Sapphire. It is nuclear, just like Blue Sapphire. It will last 12 plus hours on skin. You spray it on clothes, you're gonna have to wash the clothes twice before you even think about getting the smell out of it. And this is basically regalness in a bottle. It's regalness in a bottle. I smell it and I can't even talk straight. It is, the Taif rose in this is just done just right. The star anise, the lemon that is in here, that's a little bit candied. Man, this is just really, really nice. So it starts off the top with bergamot, star anise, musk and white lily, cedar, Taif rose, lilac and woods in the heart. And the base is agarwood of oud, sandalwood, amber, and a pure old oud. Now, I don't necessarily, and I need to look that up to see what the difference is between the agarwood that's oud and the pure old oud and how they blend it in. But this, when they call it Al Qurashi blend, this is an exceptional blend. This is my favorite fragrance. If I had to just go down to one, this would be the fragrance that I would have. It gets a lot of compliments. It projects, and like I said, 12 plus hours on the skin. When you spray it, I don't even spray more than 6 sprays. 6 sprays will fill a room. This one, if you spray it 10 times, I know Nate the Great, he sprayed it like 15 times. It went before him and announced his presence before he got in the room. This instantly hit his top 10 as soon as he got it. He really wasn't into Middle Eastern fragrances, and I kept telling him that it was the truth. And I finally just bought him a bottle and gave it to him, and he can't stop wearing it. He has, as Suits and Scent says, he is Conan-ing that bottle. He is already like a quarter of the way, and he's only had the bottle for about a month and a half, and he might be more than a quarter of the way through that bottle. He wears it all year round. I think it's really rich, probably for high heat, but Nate is crazy like that. He rocks it anyway. Next one, because I know I'm probably taking a long time, but we'll go with BDK, and I hope you can see that. I know the light may be clashing with it. BDK Tabac Rose. This is an exceptionally sexy fragrance. It is. This is another one that I get, and most of these, I don't think any of these have I gone out and worn them, and it was at a time that it was projecting that I did not get a compliment. This one really gets compliments. This is one that really I think women love, and it is one that I've gotten a lot of compliments from women, and it just is like that. That's all I can say. This is the way that they put it in, and it's got some really sexy notes. This one focuses on plum, and then the tobacco, and then the rose, and then also some cacao in it as well. This one really checks all the boxes as far as compliment getters. So on the top, you're gonna get plum, pink pepper, and Italian lemon. In the heart, you're gonna get Turkish rose, chocolate, and cinnamon. And then in the base, you get tobacco, Indonesian patchouli leaf, and Spanish labdanum. This is a very, very sexy fragrance. The plum really pops off in this. So the things that you're gonna know is the plum, the Turkish rose, the chocolate, the cinnamon, the tobacco, and then you get kind of that ambery feel with the Spanish labdanum. Really nice fragrance. Next, we're gonna go with Lamar Kajal, and this one is coming down to the wire. This is another sexy fragrance that could be worn all year round. It's dense enough to wear in colder weather. It's airy and aromatic enough that you can wear it in the spring and summer. It is like taking fruit and rose and just putting those together, and it's blended so well. So this one starts off with pineapple and red berries, apple and cardamom, and then coriander rounds out the opening or the top notes. The cardamom really pops off, and cardamom is something that as a spice I really like. It makes a fragrance airy, but the spice of it is also something that's really appealing. In the mid, it has Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, magnolia, and jasmine. And the rose really, with the white florals, really pops in when it comes in and it's blended all together well. And in the base, you have musk, vanilla, amber, cashmere wood, cedar, and moss. This is a really, really sexy fragrance. This is one of the ones that I would say is the sexiest fragrance that you can wear. Some people say it's feminine leaning. To me, I can see why you'd say that, but I really see it as more of closer to unisex. But I think that the rose and the florals blend in well with the pineapple, and that it's really a unisex fragrance that anybody can wear, but it's a sexy fragrance. And if you have it, your significant other will be wearing this as well. It's something that is good for everybody. I like the smell of it. I like the smell of it on my wife. I like the smell of it when I wear it myself. It is a great fragrance. The next ones we're coming to, and again, these may be biased in effect, and this one is Gentle Fluidity Silver from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Biased in the fact that I wear these as a signature scent, these last two, and as you can see, I think this is on my second bottle, and I still have a nice healthy dent in this one. This is one that I wear as a signature scent to work. I really need to stop buying the smaller bottle and just go ahead and buy the big bottle, because I'm gonna go through this and I'm gonna keep it in my collection. So when you talk about Gentle Fluidity Silver, the main things that I get is that gin from the juniper berries, that gin type accord from the juniper berries, that metallic kind of coldness that I've been told is from the coriander, but the juniper berry, the coriander, and the musk really pop off on this one, and it is exquisite. It is, for a fresh fragrance, it's a beast mode fragrance. It lasts 10 plus hours on skin. It's gonna project for the first 3 hours, and it will move. It will get attention, and it garners attention. It's kind of like that clean, sharp gin type vibe that people just love. I mean, there are some people that have basically said, out of all the fragrances they've smelled on me, this is the best one. That's how much it's loved. And a lot of times people gravitate, especially in the spring and summer, for the nice, fresh, and clean fragrances, and this does it. Again, juniper berries, musk, coriander, woody notes, nutmeg, amber, and vanilla. This one is a keeper, compliment getter. You will not be disappointed. The last one is a new one that I bought for the year, and this one is Imagination by Louis Vuitton. This one, black tea and citruses, really neroli makes it soapy clean. This one is just a happy fragrance. I keep saying it. I don't see, once I spray this on, it lightens my mood. It makes me happy. This one I get a lot of compliments on. Along with the Maison Francis Kurkdjian, I get just as many people that say this one is the best fragrance that they've smelled me wear. It is a signature scent worthy. You can wear it. I haven't worn it in the fall and winter, but I may give it a try. We'll even see. I can't stop smelling it. This one is probably my most worn. I'm gonna do a most worn for July. This definitely hits the top. It's my most worn. If I wear something during the scent of the morning or scent of the day and it wears off, I may be pulling this out and wearing this afterwards. It's just happiness in a bottle. Again, if you spray this on and you don't get happier after you spray it, you might need therapy. I just believe that. This one starts off with citron, Calabrian, bergamot, and Sicilian orange. Then the mid, it has Tunisian neroli, Nigerian ginger, and Ceylon cinnamon. And then in the base, that Chinese black tea that I was talking about, Abraxan really pushes it out, Gaiac wood, and Lebanon. People say that they don't get a lot of longevity with this. I don't get it. I get at least 8 hours with it. I'm not saying it's the most beast mode fragrance, but I get 8 hours and I get decent projection, at least for the first 2.5 hours. It's gonna project arm's length, and my arms aren't just as short. I have, arms that are at least 3 feet almost in length. So when I have my hands fully out. So this is gonna give you a nice scent bubble around you. I get a lot of compliments. I know people say $340 for a Louis Vuitton designer fragrance. I just had to have it. I've tried some of the clones or inspirations. I may try some other ones, but to me, this is worth the price of admission. And I truly believe once I use this bottle up, I'll be taking the bottle back to the Louis Vuitton store and spending the $205 to get a refill. And if I did not have a channel, this bottle would be half empty. If I wasn't trying to show and feature different fragrances every day for the scent of the day for the channel, I would have used this bottle almost up. I would have Conan'd this bottle. So hats off to Suit with the Conan. I'm probably taking his trademark, but that is my most complimented. And like I said, a lot of these are really close, even from 10th to the 1st. They're really close as far as the compliments. All of these are great compliment getters, and you can't do wrong with any of these. I really think you should try all of these. I have something for every season, and they just work. If you have not, if you've been here for this long, you definitely are a fragrance connoisseur, and I would love it if you subscribe. If you haven't, like, share, comment, tell me what your most complimented fragrances are in the comments. I would really like to know. And I do personally respond to the comments that I put in. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, like, share, comment, and subscribe. We will have another one when I go back to the end of the year where I'll talk about the most complimented for the whole year. But stay tuned. More fragrance videos are coming. Take care. God bless.
So you really know what live was. Come together over fragrances. That's the why, cuz getting love and support from the vibers. Put your sense of the day in the chat, cuz.